Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Let's continue with the merge, request and see which can go. So here is my screen. Let's go to merge request and let's go through each one. So here I see in the package.json. I don't know why he added this one. And when I install my version, in my version I don't see that one. So not sure why he added this one. But then also I'll approve and he has to take care of it later. Okay, let's go to another one. So here I see that package dash log.json is outside the awesome project. So this also should be deleted. And in the package, he has also added config. Okay, so but then he has to fix in the another PR, another pull request. I'll merge for now. Let's go this one. This one is Gayatri. Okay, so in the package, let's see what is in package. Package looks similar to what I have. Export in the masked view. Handler screens. Yeah, so looks similar. Let's see the home app.js. Okay, this looks good. I'll merge. Let's go another one. Okay, let's see package. Okay, looks good. Okay, I see his editor is not formatting, so he has to install. What is the name? Anand has to install the prettier. See, all are at the same level. It doesn't look good. Okay, let's see another one. This is Sanjay. Okay, this looks good. This Sanjay also has problem of prettier. All are at the same line. Let's see the last one. So it has package lock and yarn. So either it should be either one of them. Let's see what I have. Okay, I have yarn.log. So generally, where sometime you might have run yarn start expo, sometime npx expo. So both files are created. So it should be only one.
Double created.
Yeah. Right now I'll merge it. In the next pull request, you have to delete one of them.
Sure.
So you have installed yarn locally. Generally, I install yarn globally. I don't know why you have to install yarn locally. So this yarn should not be in the dependencies. And I see in my package, you will see a lot of things are there. In your package not there. Maybe you can copy from here and then run the yarn install. So it will fix all this problem. Delete the package dash log.json and yeah, that's all. I'll merge now. Maybe in the next branch you fix the changes.
Okay.
Okay, so all the merge requests are merged to the main branch. So as we do every day, I will rename this one, save as for today's date. So everyone start with creating your branch. So what you have to do, git checkout. First you have to check, is there any local changes? Okay, I have this local change, but it doesn't matter now because I already done other things before the class. So you have to see git branch, which branch is there? Is it main branch? If it's not there, you have to do git checkout main, then do git pull. When I do git pull, all the files which now I merged, it will be here, and then I will create a new branch, git checkout minus B, and I will name it as June 25. Okay, so my branch, today's branch is this one. You can also do along with me. It will be your branch name. Okay, so I'll put all my changes here. So let me know when you create a new branch. We'll start working on it. Okay, couple of people are done. So let's move further. Today is Monday for India. So many people have not joined. They might be working. So they will watch the video, but the next time I'll not keep on Sunday, but maybe on Friday and Saturday. So for India, it will be Saturday and Sunday. Okay, let's make that next week. Okay, switch to the new branch, this one. Okay, now I'll go to my folder. Okay, now I'll start yarn expo start. Okay, now let's scan this code. Okay, now I will share my phone. Okay, so here I can go to project 1, I can go to project 2, and we'll be adding more projects here as we move along. Okay, let's start now today's work. So let me tell you what we will do. Okay, so today we will learn how to position the elements, kind of you know, how to layout. You can say layout or positioning. So there are 3 things we have to learn. One is called the box modeling. So this is something we, like in website, we take a div and we changes the properties of the div. We position the div to the We set the border, we set the margin, we set the padding. So that is called the box modeling of particular div element. Here it is view, and in the world of website it is a div. Second thing which we will see is called flex. So to lay out the elements, if you have two div in the website or two view, how you will structure that view, that comes with the idea of the flex. So we have to understand how the flex works in the React Native. And third thing will be the app positioning. This will be relative and absolute positioning. So we have to understand these three things, and on the basis of these three things we can do a lot of things or a lot of positioning of our view element in the React Native. So let's start with the box modeling. So here let me open my home. Here I mention project 1, and here I will change project 1 to, maybe project 1 is fine, but I will say project 1 box modeling. Okay, and in the project 2 I will say maybe the flex, and I will add third project. Here I will say positioning. So this will go to the absolute and relative positioning. This will be the flex, and this is the box modeling. So let's start with the box modeling first, and then we will go through others. So project 1, project 2, and project 3. Okay, let's start with the box modeling. Let me close all other files except project 1. Okay, so here we will understand what is the box modeling. Okay, so let me, one second. Okay, so generally in the website world we give the class name like this. Okay, but in the React Native we don't give the class name. We create the style sheet as a separate object, like here, like this one, or we can give the inline style sheet like this, style equal to an object where I can say border and all padding, one something like that. So either you give this inline style sheet, or you can create a style sheet here, maybe saying container as an object, another one maybe text as an object, and then you call this container here in this style. For example, I can say styles. This is the object name, styles. Inside styles we have the container, this container. So I can say styles.container. Okay, and this one will say style equal to styles dot text. So I created two objects here, and I am calling these two objects here with the style.container, and with the text style.text. I can write inline style also, but I can also put it in this one as a separate and call that here. And if I have this container style in the project 2 also, here I will rewrite it again. So globally defining the style, though we can define the globally, but it is recommended to avoid the global style sheet, because each component should be self-sufficient. That is, if you have one project and another project, you can just grab this component and put it in another project and it should work. It should not depend on another external CSS to make it work. So people generally put all the style sheet of project 1. People put all the style sheet of project 1 in here, and for project 2 he will put it here. Though it is a copy paste, it's okay, but keep it separate from other components. Okay, so let's try to see what we can do. So let's try to first understand what is there in the box modeling. Let me open that here again. So when you have, let's say you have some content here, whatever you have written, some content. The space surrounding the content, this space is called padding. So if you want more space around the content, you have to add the padding. And then comes the border. Let's say this is the border. And outside the border, this space, outside the border, this space is called the margin. So if you want to increase the space between the two view, you can increase the margin. So there will be more space outside the border. So this is the border. Outside space is called the margin. Border is called the border. And inside the border, there is the content. And this space is called the padding. Okay, so let's try to understand how to increase padding and border to make it work. Okay, let's start. Okay, so now I have this one. Let's go to project 1. So generally in the website we write down like border equal to 1 pixel solid black, like this, right, in the website world. But here it will not work. In the world of React Native, it will not work. So we have to change border to border width, and width, whatever you want to give the width. So I gave this view the border. This black border is for the view. This view. Now let's try to understand this text one. For the text one, and I can give color also. Okay, let's give the color border color. So you have to write down like this, not the website world. So maybe I can say black or #000. Okay, for the text one, I will give border width of 5, and I will change the border color to red. So you will see the project is there, and there is a red color border, and outside red color there is black color border. Black color is for the view and red color is for this text. I put this different border to make you understand how the margin and padding works. Now important stuff in the box modeling is border, which we have given it already. Now we have to give the margin and padding. So if I give the margin to the text one, which space will get increased? Whether the space between the red border and black border will increase, or space inside the red border will increase if I give the margin. Let's say I give margin of 20. What do you think? The space between red border and black border will increase? I'm giving to the text. Text is here. Okay, so can anyone tell me, if I give the margin of 20, whether it will give a space outside the red border or inside the red border?
Inside the red border.
Pardon? Can you speak?
Inside.
Inside.
Inside the red border.
Red border. Okay. So let's try to give the margin. So you see that margin is always outside the border. Since I give the margin to the text one, so outside the border space get increased. What will happen if I give margin to this one, top one? What will happen if I give margin to the container?
Black border will move little bit down.
Down. Black border will shrink. Let's say if I give
Mm.
margin 20, so you will see black border is shrink down because margin is outside the border. Okay, so let's delete this margin now. Okay, instead of giving margin 20 here, okay, wait, before going further, what will happen if I give padding of 20 here? What will happen? So where the space will increase?
That is inside the text. Inside the
Surrounding the text,
yes.
right? Inside the border, surrounding the text. So let's add padding of 20 here. So you will see this space around the project text is increased to 20. Now another question. Instead of giving margin 20, can I give something here in container and it will look similar? Instead of giving margin 20, what can I give here in container and delete this so that it should look similar?
Padding 20.
Padding to 20 to here. So let's put padding 20 here and I will delete margin here. So once I delete the margin here, so it looks similar because for the top one, black border, padding is something inside it. So we are giving padding here. So either you give padding here, which will give the inside the border spacing, or you can give margin here to give the spacing here outside the red border. So either you give padding or margin. So if you want to give margin, you have to give in the red border, you have to give the margin, so it will be outside it. Or if you give padding on the container, it will look similar. So only three things to be remembered in box modeling. You have to give the border width. Border width can be all on any side. We can say border bottom width. Okay. So we can give only bottom one. We can give only top one. We can give only right side, left side, whatever you want. Okay. So the important thing is you have to understand border width should be there, border color, and padding and margin. So these four things constitute the box modeling in the React Native, which will give the spacing to the elements. So I will write down these four important things in the text one. Is called box modeling. Here we set border, padding, and margin. Okay, here this is the syntax which we use. Okay, before going further, I will also write down either use inline style object or create object in styles variable and use it in the style property. Okay, so this is the styling. So we are set with the project one. So if you have not written this one, so please write this one and see if it is worth showing like similar to this one. I will give you in the Telegram if you want to copy paste. Okay, just finish it and let me know if it works like this one. Okay, Nitesh is saying working as expected. Okay, anyone else try the same thing? I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, so I think you have tried it, and if not, you can do it along with me or after the class. Okay, so here one thing to mention is when we say padding equal to 20, in the website we can also say padding as 20 pixel, but here we cannot say 20 pixel because here we have to just give the numeric number 20 as a unit, and and it will automatically judge if it is iPad, if it is small phone, it will give padding accordingly. If I put 20 pixel, it becomes a fixed padding, which is not allowed in the React native. So you have to say just 20, not 20 pixel. Okay, let's move to now. Yeah, so it's a relative to the mobile, you can say, or to the device. Yeah, screen. It is related to the screen. So based on the screen, it automatically decides. Next is flex positioning or layout, flex layout. Okay. So to understand the flex layout, let's try to understand the layout of the flex, and then we can work on it. So let me open the diagram. So let's empty this one. So now we will talk about the flex one. So in the flex, there are, first thing to remember is we have the flex direction. Flex direction. Generally on the website, the default flex direction is row on website or on the browsers. Let me write the browsers on browsers when we write React in the React world. So this is the default property of the flex direction. But in mobile, the flex direction is column. So when you create and on the website, you have to mention that display is equal to flex. But in the mobile, it's automatically flex. You don't have to mention it is flex or non-flex. Okay, so what it mean by row and column? Let's try to understand the row and column, what it means. Okay, let me write down. Okay, let me write down. What you call as. I create some layout one second. Okay. So I will explain you what is meant by flex direction. So here in the layout, we need to understand the flex direction first. So there are row reverse, column reverse, but we will only concentrate on the row and column. Row and column. In React Native, default flex direction is column. In React, default flex direction is row. So first thing we have to understand what is the flex direction. Let's go to project 2, and here we will change this screen to something. So let's say I will create different view. Let me create view 1, first view. So here I will say child 1. So this is called parent view, the top one, and this is the child view. So let me name it as styles.parent, and here this is the child one. Let's create 2 more child. Okay, so here I will, in the style sheet, I will create different style sheet. One is called the parent, and then I can create one as a child, and I have three different child, 1, 2, 3. So let's create three more child, one. So I can give a specific property to each child, 2, 3. So these three are the child. I want to apply this child to this all three, but I also want to apply 1 to the first child, 2 to the second child, and 3 to the third child. Since we have to apply two style sheet, we will do this syntax. I will say style equal to, I will create an curly bracket and I will create a array like this rectangular bracket, and here I can say styles dot child comma styles dot 1. So child will be common to all the child, and 1 will be only applied to first, 2 will be for 2, 3 will be for third. So let me copy paste. Let's say 2, 3. Okay, so we have the one parent and then we have three childs. So let's see how it looks now. Let's go to project 2. So we have child 1, child 2, child 3. So you will see that I added 3 child, but they are from the top to bottom. Why they are from top to bottom? Because the direction is column. Whenever the direction is column, each element is in the new line, one below each other. Whereas if I would have created same thing in the React with the display of flex, then it would have created 3 in the same line, because the direction on the website is row. So it creates in the same line. That is called flex direction row wise. So let me show you again. I will say flex direction. By default it is column, and if I put the column as a flex direction, nothing will change because by default it is column only. But if I change it to row, you will see. So you will see all are on the same line, because row means it is in the same direction. So this is the difference between the row and the column. So for the row, it goes in the from left to right. So all the elements will be aligned left to right. And for the column flex direction, all will be aligned from top to bottom. Since in the row elements are aligned left to right, therefore the main axis is on the left to right. This is the main axis. Since in the column all the elements come from top to bottom, the main axis is from top to bottom. So main axis is from top to bottom. Okay, so just we saw the flex direction. Okay, let me show you again. Now I will put some. Let's start working on the column first, and then we will come back to row again later. Let's try to give some styling so it looks something different boxes. Yeah, in website we have to define display equal to flex, but in the React Native it is automatically flex. We don't have to say flex display equal to flex. So now what I will do, I will give something so to each one, so that we know the size and where it is exactly. So for the child one, I will say border width equal to 1. So each child will get the width border. Okay. Then what else? Okay, let's give some height and width also. I will give width of 100 and height of 100. Okay, so we have this one, and for each boxes I will give some different color. I will say background color. One will be the red, and second will be green, and third will be the blue, RGB. So we can see. So all are aligned from top to bottom because of the property flexDirection is column. In React world, whatever element you will add it will be from top to bottom. It will go from top to bottom. You don't have to specify flexDirection equal to column. It will automatically write from top to bottom. And if I say row, if I want to specifically adjust in the one row, I can change it to row. But now we are dealing with the column only, then we will put it column here. So let me ask you, what is the main axis of the flexDirection column? You have to answer the main axis is from top to bottom. So elements are coming from top to bottom. It goes from top to bottom. And what is the main axis for the row? It is from left to right. Okay, now we have defined the width and height to understand how the elements will position themselves on the screen. Let's try to understand two more things in the flex world. So two important things you have to remember is justify contents, and another one is align items. These two are very important to position the elements on the screen. So generally justify content is along the main axis. So justify content is along main axis. So let me show you now example. Now if I give now where I have to give the justify content, on the child one or on the parent one? So the answer is all should be given to the parent one. We will be dealing with the parent one, not the child one, right? So we have to give the justify content to the parent and not the child. So this all the properties which we are dealing now, all the properties here are given to parent. And there are few properties for the child which you will see here, child properties, which I will tell you in a minute, in few minutes. So let's talk about the parent. So what we gave the first property we gave the flexDirection, which can be row or column. Default is column. Next property we will see is two properties, justify content and align items. So the align justify content is along the main axis. Justify content is along the main axis. So let's see what are the properties of the justify content. So in the justify content we can say either it is flex start or flex end or center or space around. These are the valid properties for the justify content, and the space between. There are few more which are not important in our discussion. So these are the important one which I wrote here. Okay, so let's try to see how each one looks on the screen. So since justify content we have to apply to the parent, whether I will put the property in the parent or child. Whether I will put justify content in the parent or child. Parent. Kate is saying parent, and that's the correct. So we have to put all the properties in the parent, not on the child. So justify content is the along the main axis. What is the main axis for the column? Flex direction column. This is flex direction column. What is the main axis? Top to bottom or left to right? Okay, sometimes I get confused with vertical and horizontal. So just tell me top to bottom or left top to bottom. Yeah, that is easy to understand. So if I put anything in the justify content, it will affect from top to bottom. So let me show you. Justify content equal to flex start. So when I put flex start, nothing changes because the default property for the justify content is flex start. So it does not changes anything when I change the justify content to flex start. But if I say justify content equal to flex end, okay, nothing happens. One second. Let me reload. Okay, what I will do, I have to give some height to give you to make you visually show what it looks like. So let's give some height of let me see what height I can give. Okay, let's give 200 for now, and I will increase. Okay, 200 is too low. Let's give the 400. Okay, let's give the border also to show you what effect we are seeing. Okay, so this is my, let's give the height of 600 for example. We can give the whole screen also. We have some methods to give the whole screen. Right now, I'm not talking about that because I want to concentrate only on the justify content. So you see, when I put justify content equal to flex end, it moves the elements to the down. Why it moves to down? Because justify content is along the top to bottom. Whatever property I will give it here, it will go from top to bottom. So if I say start, it will come at the top. If I say end, it will say, sorry, it will go bottom. So what are the other valid properties we have to see? Center. Let's change it to center. So if I say center, all elements come to the center. So this is the black box. Inside this center, we have all the three elements. Let's see what are the other valid properties. Space around. So if I say space around, it will leave some space at the top, some at the between, and some at the bottom. There is one more, evenly, which will give the even space at the top, between, and at the bottom, which I haven't written here, but let's add it also. If I use space between, it will give top and bottom, and there is a between. It will come in the between, space between. So it is a space in the between the boxes, in between the child elements. So we have seen justify content is along the top to bottom, and we have to adjust my boxes as per top to bottom. Okay, let's change it to flex start, and it goes to the top. So this is all about the justify content. If I would have the flex direction as a row, whatever I showed you, it will be on the row. I will quickly show you, but it is not important now to check the row. So if I put row, and if I put end, it will go on the right side. If I go center, it will go in the center, and similarly other things will be same way. So we have to specifically concentrate on the column 1, otherwise you will get confused with what we are dealing with. So in the column 1, Justify content is from top to bottom, and anything which I give here will affect the child from the top to bottom. All the elements of the child will be spaced as per the justify content. And the default property of justify content is let's start. If I want to center the elements, I can put all in the center like this. Instead of height, I can say flex equal to 1. Then it will take the whole screen, and then we are dealing with this. So I don't want to talk about flex equal to 1, but let's keep it here to visually see it, how it looks at the whole screen. Okay, so just remember justify content, which I put it here. Any questions on justify content? Before we move to align items. Okay, no questions. Since I want to keep this justify content part here in this project, let me create project 3 to explain you the align items. So let me create a new folder, project 0003, and I will put new file project 3.js. So before we go to project 3, just you copy paste the project 2 and see if it is working as I showed you. Let me give you in the chat so you can copy paste also. So just in the project 2, add this one and see if you are able to see what I am able to see here. I'll give you 2 minutes copy paste and see if it is working. Okay, so you copied the things. Let's go to project 3. So I created a project 3 folder and file project 3. Let me go to app.js and import project 3. Let's create project 4 also, because we will be working on project 4 also soon for the positioning. So let's create project 4 also since you are here. And in the app, I will add project 4 also. And I'll copy these 2 lines with project 4 and project 3. And then I'll go to the home. I'll add one more view. So I will say project 3 is about the flex layout. Flex align items. Here the flex justify content. So this is about justify content, this is about align items, and I will call the project 3 here, and here I will call the project 4. Here I will say positioning, project 4 positioning. Okay, so I have these changes which you can do after we are done with the project 3 and 4. Let me copy the project 2 because we will be working in similar one. I don't want to repeat everything, and just I'll rename the project 3. Question to you, if I keep the name project 2 but I call the project 3 here, will it work or it will give error? I'm putting here 2 but I'm calling it here as a 3. Is it okay or wrong?
Is it okay? It's okay. It is okay.
Okay, because here we are putting as a default. So here we can call with any name. But if it is not default, then it will break. So we have to put curly bracket here and give the project 2 only. Since we are exporting as a default, so it is okay. Okay, so let's give project 3 now. If I go to project 3, it will look similar to project 2. Now we will be working on the align items. Okay, where is the readme file? So we are now dealing with the align items. Now the default property for the align items, default property, since justify content is along the main axis, so align items are along the side axis, not the main one. What is the side axis in this case? Main axis, I said top to bottom. What is the side axis? From left to right, because main axis opposite to main axis is the side axis. So main axis is top to bottom, side axis is left to right. Okay. In case of column, this is a column direction. So from left to right in case of flex direction column. Okay. So what is the default property of the align items? Default is stretch. It is called stretch. And what are the other properties of align items? One is the flex start, one is the center, one is the flex end. These are the different properties of align items. So we will see all these 4 items now. So I'll go to project 3. Now instead of giving some width and height, I will remove the width and height. Or I will remove the, okay, let's remove the width first. Let me see how to, okay. So as soon as I remove the width, you see it takes whole of the area. Align items is from left to right. And what is the default property of align items? It is stretch. That means it is stretching from left to right. It is stretching the whole area because of the align item property stretch. And this is the default one. So if you don't specify anything, it will stretch the whole area. And if I want to, whether I will apply this align items here or here, in the parent or child? Parent. All these properties which I am telling you is the parent one. Okay, to the parent. So what I will do, align items equal to stretch. But as soon as I put stretch, it will do nothing. Why it will do nothing? Because default property of align items is stretch, and we are putting stretch, so it does nothing on each of the element. Let's try to change it to flex start. As soon as I change it to flex start, it takes only the space which is covered by the text, child 1, child 2, and child 3. It starts. What will happen if I put end? It will move the elements to the right side at the end. What will happen if I want to put in the center? I can put center here. Is that clear? This align item. Now, if I want to center these 3 boxes at the center of the screen, I have to change the justify content to center also. Then both will be at the center. Justify content is from top to bottom, so it goes at the center of the top to bottom. And align items is from left to right, so and it is in the center, so it is coming in the center. Let's try to do stretch again, and it will stretch the whole area. Any questions on the align item? Or so the three properties for the parent are flexDirection, justifyContent, and alignItem to align anything on the screen, all the layout, to lay out any element on the screen. Okay, now I will ask you, you have to write down the two properties in the chat, justifyContent and alignItem. I want to put all three boxes on the right side, bottom, this right side here. Can you put justifyContent and alignItems in the chat so that I see all three boxes on the right side here, bottom right side? So just do it and tell me how will you do this. Just give me two things, justifyContent and alignItems. Direction should be column only. I don't want to change flexDirection. We will only work on flexDirection column today, not thinking of row much. Okay, justifyContent is flex end. Let's try. If I say end and flex end. Okay, all three on the right side. How about all three on the middle bottom, center bottom? Align item equal to center. Okay, let's see. Because align items is from left to right, so will move this to center. How about all three in the center? So we have to do center here also. Okay. So this two will, is very important, and you have to remember all the default property and all the other properties so that you can put your elements at the proper place wherever you want it. Let's talk about the child properties. In the child properties, we have two properties we have to remember. One is called the flex, and another property is called the align self. Okay, so let's talk about these two properties for the child properties. Okay, so let's try to right now child 1 is having I will put the flex property to the child 1 and we'll see what is the difference going on. Don't worry about this flex. Let's talk about this one is only to give the spacing, the top to bottom one. Let's try to give the flex property to the child 1. I can give to the main child 1, or I can give to 1, 2, 3 separately, because 1, 2, 3 are also child. So let's try to give the flex property of 1 to child. So as soon as I give the flex property 1, you will see it will take the most of the space here, and let's try to make this as flex start as a default, and this also I will put stretch as a default. So these two are the default properties now. So if I put flex 1 to here, the space is taken, most of the space is taken by the flex 1, and other two don't have anything. So nothing is, their space is, reduced. But if I put flex 1 to the second child also, you will see first and second have the same amount of space, and third is squeezed to the bottom. If I put flex also to the third one, then it will it will take the space of uh, it will take the space of the same as top two, and this flex one is for the main axis. That is what it will apply to the main axis. Now if I want to change this top one to 2, you will see top one is twice bigger than bottom two. If I put 3 to the second one, so you will see third one is 3 times bigger than the bottom one, but second is lesser than the third one. So depending on how much part you have to give, you can adjust the flex direction to even. If you want equally all three parts, you can put 1, 1 and 1. All three will get equal share. And if I can give width and height also, but this flex will take the whole spacing of the space we have. Here I can give to flex start. Then what will happen? All will be reduced to the size of the flex start. By default, it is stretch, so it goes stretch like this. It takes the whole of the width. But if I want to put center, it will take the center space, and default will be the stretch. I'm putting flex start to show you on the left side, and this flex is taking the main axis, that is from top to bottom. So let me write down in the flex one, it takes the proportion of space along the main axis. It can be 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever you want. Now what is the align self? Align self is, it will override the align items. So for example, if you put in the parent the stretch one, but if you put in the align self that's different one, so it will override the parent property. So for example, everything is the flex start, but you want one of the element to stretch the whole area. So you can say align self as stretch. So you will see only the third one is stretched to the whole area. Other two will follow the parent, but this third one is following its own, that is giving the stretch one. So what align self will this do? It will overwrite the align item property on child. Okay, so this is all about the flex one. We have to consider the parent properties like flex direction, justify content, align item, or we have to tackle the child properties as the flex or align self. We will be doing the third thing, that is this one next week, what is called positioning. I don't want to jump positioning today. We will revise this flex one little bit on the next week, but mostly we'll do the positioning next time. So any questions on the flex one? So you can position any element anywhere in the layout using the flex one, and for that you need to understand all these important concepts like direction, justify content, align item, and the flex and align self. Next time I will put more concentration on the row part. Today I showed you the column one. Next time I will show you the row one, but as a general, any other questions on this one? Okay, no questions. Let's commit the code and we're done for today. I will do git status, git add, git commit, flex and box modeling. If I do git push, it will ask me this one. Paste it. I will create a pull request. I'll create the merge request. Let's go to merge request. Let's go to changes. So I changed in the project 1, 2, 3, 4, home, app, and I created this file. All are defined here. I'll go to overview and I'll merge it. And now when you will create new branch from the main, you will see all my changes. Okay, any other question?